Morgan Jaluka, the director of the New Hope Metaphysical Society, and very happy to see happy and smiling faces here, expecting a wonderful program, which I'm sure we will have. This is our second program for the season. Our first was the David Young music concert. Was anyone there for that one? Wasn't that a wonderful concert? And profoundly moving. I think the meditation really affected me and many people. I think we have it up on the video now of YouTube. Do we not?
Yeah.
And so if you missed it, or you want anybody to see it, your friends, your family, alert them to the fact that it's at the New Hope Metaphysical Society's YouTube page, which I think you can just do a search on YouTube for New Hope Metaphysical Society. It should take you there. There's some feedback in the mic. I hope you're not hearing that too much. So, how many people here are new or here for the first time? Well, welcome. Great. How many people here came from an email announcement or word of mouth, email, word of mouth, newspaper? We're kind of just getting a sense of how we're advertising. Okay, well, we do have a questionnaire that we'd like to hand out during break and at the end of the night that if you want to give us your feedback, like this microphone is, you can let us know, how you heard about us, what programs you'd like to see in the future, how you like this program this evening, and would you like to see it again? Because we're kind of need your feedback. We kind of want your feedback. We are serving the community, so we want to hear what you want to see and hear in the future. Speaking of the future, before I talk about tonight, we have an up-and-coming, program for the next 3 months. So that's exciting to have that already in place. So we're going to have Amy Caruth in May, who, let me see if I can read this right, is a psychic and holistic healer. I think she will talk about actually tonal alignment healing work. And that's May 25th. And just look at your flyer. Then we have, I wrote this down, I hope this is the right title, A Summer of Spirituality, the Lilydale Experience with Elizabeth Cullen. And she's here this evening, so you want to stand up, Elizabeth, and let people know who you are, and she'll be speaking in June. And she spent a whole summer in Lilydale. If you don't know about Lilydale, she'll let you know. It's a psychic community, it's also like a healing center, an educational center now, it's world renowned. And then Wednesday, July 27th, we have Halo Capato coming, who will talk about divine encounters and how they changed his life. And he just spoke at a center that's in Chestnut Hill, where I come from, just last Sunday, and it was very well received. So I'm very happy to hear he's coming to us. So let me say that we're going to start fairly shortly after I give a little talk. And we also ask if you have any announcements, you can raise your hand and let us know if there's anything in your area that you'd like to announce in terms of, program, workshop, etc. Otherwise, we have a networking table that you can put that information on the table, if you don't want to talk about it. And but I usually have Gary come up and just mention a little bit about Pebble. So if you want to come up and just talk about Pebbleville Church, which is where we have our meetings and the up-and-coming programs and courses and whatever that we offer here.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Thanks for coming. It's great to have everyone out here tonight. Welcome to the New Hope Metaphysical Society. And I want to say a few words about Pebbleville Church. We're an interfaith community. Pebble's been around for over 46 years. And it's really it's an experiment that started out actually more than 46, 1968, so really 48 years. And we started out as a kind of a open church without any hierarchy or denomination, non-denomination. And so we have kept going for all these years. And we have celebrations every Sunday. And each one is different from month to month. I think we just did one on the solstice last Sunday. And there's lots of wonderful celebrations. So celebrations are 10:30. There's also a Sunday at 9 a.m. There's a meditation for those who just want silence. And David also does something on Thursday nights as a meditation. David did as well. I believe it's 7 p.m. And it's downstairs.
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth Thursday. So David as well, he's part of our community. And we also have art in art gallery. If you notice the walls here, every month we have different artists that are, their art is shown and it's presented in our gallery with gallery openings. So we get a chance to look around and see the beautiful art. And it really is a way of showcasing different talent we have at Pebble Hill. I also want to make a personal plug. I will be involved in an event on May 14th at the Circle of Miracles, and it's called the Night of Channeling. So there'll be 3 people, including myself, who will be channeling. I will be channeling a being that comes through me, whose name is Baba. Baba is the Guru consciousness. So it'll be a group of folks who will all share different kinds of beings that come through us. The other person will be Leslie Ramos, who channels the Great White Brotherhood. And there is a Simona Minenti, who works with the vortex energy. So that'll be on Saturday night, May 14th, Circle of Miracles. There's a sheet if you wanted information about it. I don't have flyers, but if you want to put your email down on the sheet on the table there, I'll send you an email with information about it. And that's pretty much it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Any other announcements? Yes, sorry.
Well, good evening, everyone. Great to see you all out here tonight. Beautiful night, all your smiling faces. My name's Chaz, and I want to let you guys know that on June 11th, Saturday, June 11th, our friend Ken Kaplan has organized a benefit for Circle of Miracles, and we will be out there doing readings and healing work. Elizabeth will be doing some readings. Possibly our friend Roberta Payne will be doing readings. Some very talented people will be out there. I'll be there doing reconnective healing, possibly a little hypno-reiki. We'll see how I feel. So please join us for that. You can get information on circleofmiracles.org or .com or whatever it is. .com.
It's actually a really great time to be able to take advantage of these readings and get to know the healers and the psychics and the mediums. The readings are about 20 minutes and they're only like $20. So that is a fraction of the price you would normally pay. And all because it's a benefit. All of us are coming out to do the healings and the readings, that kind of thing, to benefit the church. So you might want to look into that. Again, Saturday, June 11th. And that is going to be just north of Doylestown at the Firehouse in Plumsteadville. It's right on 611. And again, circleofmiracles.com, I believe is it. But it's a great opportunity, and it sells out. Last year, I did it for the first time, and I was sold out. So you might want to go online and get that if you're interested.
Well, thank you for that. It's good to know what's going on here. Also, you can check out our website to see what's going on in our neck of the woods, and hopefully in the future, we may start to advertise for people on our Facebook page. So check out our Facebook page. We have a meetup page, and whatever else pages we're going to have. We're having a new website being designed, so that's going to be up, I guess, in a month or two. And our website designer is here, Scott Allard. I want to stand up because I think he's fabulous, and you're going to really enjoy when you see it. Things are moving. Excellent, excellent. So I'm really happy. Just to let you know the schedule, we're going to start no later than 8. We should end by 8:45, then we'll take a break, about 15-20 minute break, food. We'll come back, we'll have the second part of the program. Just to let you know that if you need to go to the bathroom, it's downstairs. And also, please turn off your cell phones. I remember to say that. And so I guess without further ado, I will now introduce the speakers of the program for the evening, Bette Hanson. I'm just going to say a little bit from the flyer, and then you can talk a little bit more about what's already on the flyer and more. Bette Hanson is a seasoned holistic practitioner from Philadelphia. She's trained and experienced in multidimensional and vortex healing, we've heard that word, certified at the highest levels of vortex healing. She's accumulated over 1,200 hours of training since 2006. As an empath, intuitive healer, channel, and higher consciousness mentor, she is devoted to serving people, pets, and the planet. in the East Coast region and beyond. She offers personal sessions, group healings, workshops, relationship clearing, and earthwork, home space land clearing. Merging with the I Am tree of life, which I think she'll describe, she's naturally gifted with divine earth energy, facilitating interdimensional connectedness between the planet and the cosmos. Betty's private practice is based out of Philadelphia, and she facilitates events throughout the country. For further details, visit her at bettehanson.com. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Bette Hanson.
Electronics and me just don't hear it a lot. So speaking of electronics, first thing I'm going to do, this room is buzzing. It's just making my heart race. So I can say all the words in the world to describe what I do. The best way to really get to know it is to experience it. So we're going to start with it. Why? Because I am buzzing in here. Whatever's going on is just making the energy race. So I'm going to take just a moment. So sit with your feet firmly, legs uncrossed. We're just going to clear, bless, around the room. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what y'all brought in with you. And I don't know what's in the room. All I know is it's making me spin. And, goodness knows what's going to come out of my mouth when I'm spinning. So I better ground myself. And I thought, let's ground the room. Because that's kind of one of the things that I do. So I'm going to set up a grid in the room. And just take a few deep breaths. As I clear and bless the room, and you can just feel how the room settles down. Feel how the space is just settling down. Maybe you are sensitive. Just doing a little grounding. And some of you don't like to be grounded. In order to fly really high, the more grounded we are, the higher we can fly. And during the second part of the healing, we'll experience more of this, but I wanted to settle the room down. Okay, so how does that feel? A little bit stiller in here? A little more quiet, a little less of a buzz? For me, do you want me to stand in the middle? Is that best for you?
Doesn't matter.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I can follow you.
I like just roaming around, being with y'all one-on-one, as opposed to standing behind something. Because this work that I do is all about coming back into wholeness, coming back into oneness. And what keeps us from oneness is separation. What is separation? Oh, our life. Everything about it. Everything that we think we are. It is our thoughts, it is our beliefs, it is our conditioning. First of all, I wanted to thank Amy for reaching out to me. And, thanks. Yeah. I really, anybody here else who's sensitive to electricity? Yeah, me too. Me too. For any of you who are, I was just telling Scott about this. There's a wonderful little stone called shungite. You heard of it? It's like a stone from Russia that helps with electromagnetics. So anyway, vortex heal. Well, I'm going to start with me first of all. I grew up in the Midwest. The last of 6 kids. My mother had us all within 10-year span, so you can well imagine by the time she had me, she was tired. And so I came out a little bit of traumatic birth, but growing up in the Midwest, raised a Lutheran, didn't know anything about this metaphysical stuff, and went into college, and I always had a curiosity though when I was young. I never just took to Lutheranism. I would always go to my friends' churches, whether they were Baptist, Catholics, Jewish, not that they would really let me in. I would always love to go to the mystical things, the mystical side of Catholicism, the mystical side of Judaism, and I was drawn to, I even went to a Billy Graham concert and went up and was saved, and the pastor came and said, "Oh, do you want to talk about it?" I'm like, "No," I just went for the mystical part of what was going on, and it was so cool. So I always had a mystical bent growing up, but then life happens, right? Life happens. Went to college, studied communications, went into television. Can you imagine what that did to the poor little sensitive me? As a woman, this shark-infested place, but I loved it. Because I'm a Gemini and I love to communicate. I'm really good at it. But it ate me up, spit me out, but it was a good thing. Every single thing that happened in my life, I credit for bringing me to this single point right here now. So television brought me around the country. Every 18 months or so, I moved, and I finally got to a point where I was really exhausted. I had, get this, Lyme's and celiac at the same time. Did not know it. Did not know it. So, but I still, I was in this profession. I was out of television for a while, but I was freelancing in television production and film production in the Philadelphia area. And so I'd work, and then collapse and have no energy. And so something inside of me went, hey, remember when you were a kid and you were real mystical? There's something else going on here. And I found myself at a Kundalini yoga 5-day seminar that's for the advanced levels, and I hadn't taken a single class. It was like, whoa, I don't know why I'm here. But it was very mystical. By the end of 5 days, I kind of knew what was going on, but the teacher, she was very mystical. And so that kind of started, there's something more here. And in Philly, this small little store down in Queen Village had these special seminars like you guys hold, and invited people in. And I walked into this seminar, something called vortex healing. I don't know why, it just sounded really intriguing. And she was demonstrating this energy, and closed my eyes, and I was feeling this energy, and I was getting really annoyed because I don't like wind blowing on me, and I felt the ceiling fan going like this, and all this wind blowing around me, and getting more annoyed, and I finally look up to be really annoyed, and you know what? There was no ceiling fan. And I came from television as a producer, facts, just the facts, man. Spirit needed a way to get my attention, to show me if this stuff is real, that this stuff, is happening, and it got my attention in a way to say, all right, okay, this is cool. And so I took the first class, and having celiacs and Lyme's and not really knowing it, I just kind of crawled my way in, and the energy was amazing, but it was also very devastating, because I'll tell you why in just a little bit. It took me to dark night of the soul, but I gotta have more of this, right? And so I went into the second class a couple weeks later, and I sat in the middle of the class and said, I'm an energy healer. Now, this is a person who's just spent 20 years in television. I don't know what an energy healer is. I don't even know how to do one. And so that started my path in vortex healing. And vortex healing is a little known modality that I'll tell you about in a second. But I started training, and that was in 2006. And here I am in 2016, and my 11th year. And I'm an energy healer. I've been an energy healer for full-time for about 4 or 5 years now. My parents still wonder when I'm getting a real job. You know, I'm from the Midwest, and my family too, and they don't get all this stuff. So I'm just always excited to be here so I can actually talk about the physical side of vortex healing, because it is so cool. It's one of the coolest modalities that I know, not that I know a lot, but I'm very, 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 very lucky and privileged to have stumbled in there and learn about this. But when I first started learning about it, I had no clue what they were talking about consciousness, about awakening, about oneness, about conditioning, about all this stuff, and, you know, but I'm an experiential person. You know, remember the television, Prove It To Me, Just the Facts Man? It showed it to me. And my life changed, it transformed. It went from a 20-year veteran in television to a full-time energy healer. My life now is so simple. I wake up and I take my dog for a walk. I live right next to Fairmont Park, and I see clients. I'm so very lucky to be able to help people develop and transform. And that's what multidimensional healing is. It's a transformational modality. So enough about me, because that's just a story. And for anybody who knows anything about awakening, they're not our stories. But vortex healing modality, the reason it's so transformational is because it is a modality of complex mapping of conditioning. What is conditioning? Conditioning, again, is all the stuff, all our beliefs, all our programming. You know, when we come in as a baby, we're relatively a clean slate. I'll talk about the genetics and about the incarnational and past life history, energetics in just a bit. But we come in pretty much not knowing anything, and you know, we cry when we're hungry or laugh when we're happy, and then all of a sudden people start telling us things. Here's your name, here's your birthright, you know, your family history, and you know, you start learning, and you get to school, and you start getting conditioning. And especially in our society, our conditioning is based on a sense of worth. You know, when we go to school, it's what clothes are you wearing, it's what car you're driving when you get older, what house do you live in, how many kids do you have, and it's all about worth, it's all about fitting in, which then, you know, packs on top of our conditioning. So we're all conditioned consciousness. What is consciousness? New physics calls it, you know, quantum physics, the nature of all reality. It's the stuff we're made of. It is the stuff we're made of. And so vortex healing works with consciousness. It's a healing modality that works with the energetics, yes. But it has a lot of wonderful tools like clearing spaces and rooms, and I can work on relationships and individual healing and do group healings. But it works on consciousness transformational because it works with and through a divine intelligence. Divine intelligence of someone named Merlin. Now, this is one of the few places that I get to say I'm a wizard. I can't say that in my hometown or with a lot of my friends or even with clients really, because they don't get it and they don't need to know. But this is the modality of magical transformation. Merlin is a divine intelligence that is associated with the Arthurian legend, but it's not. He's an avatar. Not the movie, not the video game. An avatar is a divine presence here on the planet. Now, he was a divine presence here on the planet 5,600 years ago. Amma, who's I consider one of my gurus. Anyone here know about Amma? Yeah. Yeah, she's an avatar. She's a divine mother presence here on the planet, here to share divine mother energy. And so Merlin is a divine expression of magical transformation. He is the consciousness behind vortex healing. So vortex healing is a wonderful transformational energy modality But it works on our issues first and foremost. Our issues, again, are conditioning. They're the core things. Now, we think of issues like, oh, I have an issue, I have physical issues, aches and pains, I have emotional issues, sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm depressed. But we don't recognize that our core issues, our core fundamental issues, are interwoven in so many different places, because we're not just this physical being here on this planet. We're a dimensional being. We're a divine being, having a human experience. So because of that, and this is kind of the sad part of it, or the frustrating part of it, all our issues are held dimensionally as well. And so, when we think of clearing our stuff, most people clear just the tip of the iceberg because that's all they see and that's all they know. But dimensionally, all our stuff is held karmically, so it's in our past life history. It's genetic, because we come in and we pick our parents, and our genetics mirror our past life history. And then, of course, we have a life experience in this life that mimics our past life and our genetics. And then all that is held divinely. So the transformational aspect of vortex healing is it works on all those different levels, and it's not me. I don't do any of the work. I'm just a facilitator. I just channel the energy. The energy comes through me. It's the divine intelligence that comes in and works with your issues. On a fundamental core level, at all those different places, and with the consciousness of divinity. Now, why is that important? Because our stuff is, again, not just held as conditioning, but it's alive. When we get really angry, we can describe ourselves, I am angry. It has an aliveness, it has a consciousness. And so the consciousness of vortex healing goes into that and does something called waking it up. It wakes it up to itself. It says you're not really angry through a process. It doesn't happen just like that. It's not like the Matrix where you take a red pill and a blue pill and you just magically wake up. It's a process of waking up the parts of you that have forgotten that you're not really forgotten. And so it's an awakening lineage, in addition to a healing lineage. And so I would say 2/3 of the people that study vortex healing take it to wake up, take it as an awakening process. There's just a smaller percentage that have healing practices. And so the awakening aspect of vortex healing, meaning every single time you sit in the energy, it wakes up a part of you. It works on all those different levels, waking it up. The lineage holder, Rick Weinman, is a master at mapping conditioning and awakening. Down the line when we're all just living in this wonderful place where we can talk about awakening and oneness and how we're all interconnected. And I think down the line, we're going to find out that he's really a pioneer. We're going to find out, that the mapping that he's doing about how our conditioning is held and where it's held in our awakening is something we can really follow, because our mind all likes maps, right? We all like to know how and why it's happening until we learn that we really just need to forget. And we've just forgotten who we are at our core. And so Vortex works on all those fundamental levels, following a protocol, a process. When I work with individual clients, we work through your issues one by one, or as a network, and that slowly wakes you up. You come to a point where you're working on your issues that are bringing you back into wholeness, bringing you back into oneness, bringing you back into the authentic truth of who you are. And so let's get to the point of when Amy asked me what my topic was today, is our connection to the planet. Well, our interconnection is not just cosmic. It starts here. It starts here on the planet. We're interconnected with everything. All of life is consciousness. All of life is energy, and all of life is consciousness. And so when we're waking up to who we are as an authentic truth, as an authentic reality, as a divine expression having a human experience, where one of the first things we do is recognize how interconnected we are with everyone and everything in our life, including the planet. And so a couple of days after Earth Day, we're here, we'll do a group healing in a little bit to help remind you not only how connected you are, but we'll work on a block that's preventing you from being connected to Earth. Because that's one of the good things, that's one of the cool things that Vortex does, is it works transformationally on our issues, on something that's standing in the way of us becoming whole, of us moving into our authentic truth, of us really recognizing our divine expression. And so our interconnection with the planet is grounding. And a lot of people, especially people who like to play with metaphysical stuff, like float up here. Because it's so much fun. You get to play with all little mystical cosmic beings. And you know, when we're flying up here, we're not really grounded, and we have a tendency to get blown around really easier. The more grounded we are, you know, like a tree, more like electricity, like I was telling Scott earlier, you know, electricity's not going to even run. It's not grounded. It's not going to get anything out of it. It's not grounded. We're not going to flow. We are designed to let this energy come in and be conduits. What is the earth shift? We are. We are. This is the earth shift. As we develop, as we work on our awakening or on our search, in whatever form, not that you have to do energy healing or vortex healing, there's plenty of paths of awakening. Eckhart Tolle says if you just learn how to breathe right, you'll awake. Most of us breathe very shallow. We don't walk around consciously breathing. So there's breath work, there's prayer, there's anatomy, there's just so many. This is just one modality. It happens to be an awakening modality, and a pretty cool modality, and I'm here to tell you more about it. But you know, there's plenty of paths of awakening, and the awakening process is one line of us awakening in the lineage, in the web, divine web of life. And as we awaken our line of the web, everything we're connected to awakens too. So I can go sit in the presence of an awakened master and just soak up the energies because you're connected. And you don't even have to be in the presence. It's just a lot more vibrant when you are. You can sit in front of a picture and connect because you're connected. There is no separation. The only thing that prevents us from doing this is all our monkey mind. It's all, you know, especially in Western society, it's all about go, 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 do, busy, 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 and I know. I'm actually very grateful for celiacs and Lyme disease. Why? Stopped me dead in my tracks. I could do nothing. And it turned me inward. And then, top that out, I got 2 frozen shoulders back to back. So, you know, it wasn't enough just to have Lyme and celiacs, but 2 frozen shoulders. 2 years for this one to heal, and 1.5 years for this one. And this athletic person just had to stop doing anything. And it turned me inward in a way that nothing else could, because you get caught up in the habit of a busy, busy lifestyle, don't we? And so the only way to really disconnect from our beliefs, from our programming, our conditioning, and to wake up, to get still. Really still. Really. And there's a lot of paths to that. And when we get still and quiet, what do we recognize? We recognize how interconnected we are. And so all the things going on the planet, if you haven't noticed, our political system going on right now, our campaigns and political system around the world, the weather, everything, is representative of our collective consciousness. Because if you want to know where you're at in your life, look at your life. Your life, you know, thought, energy follows thought. So what you're thinking, how you're acting, everything is really a blueprint. Your life is a blueprint of who you think you are. And so the downside, as I told you, the downside, and I don't think it's a downside, because if you're after truth, there is no downside. But the challenging side is that you have to start facing the stuff you've been ignoring and avoiding for lifetimes. And I won't get into my journey, but if anyone wants to have a cup of tea sometime, I'm happy to tell it to you, because I find it, again, stories really boring. But the journey from what I used to be to now is such a transformational one. Because it took me into that place of stillness. It took me into that place of connection. It took me into that place of oneness. But the way through it was brutal. It was hard. And it still is. Anyone says they're done with their journey, send them to me. I'll find some. Because there really isn't anyone on the planet aside from our awakened masters who doesn't have stuff to work on. And you're always going to find new and new layers as we develop, because remember, we're the earth shift. And we're interconnected. The collective consciousness, you know, it's not just our stuff. Our stuff likes to hang out with other stuff. You know, misery likes company is so true. And so that's the collective conscious reflecting all of our past life histories of the lower vibration. Now, the energies of greed, of power, of corruption, of anger, of fear are all lower vibrating. They're all vibrating, dense, contracted, entangled. And higher vibrations of love are resonance on a frequency scale that are higher frequency. Two cannot exist together. So that's why getting into a place of stillness in whatever capacity you do will help your path. The vortex healing path is a bunch of transmissions. You sit in a class, the classes are anywhere from 1 to 5. I think my last class was 15 days. And it's an energy where you get specific tools that have certain resonance. It's like an artist palette. Well, if you have this, if you have that, then then this is a resonance that will bring that back to wholeness. Bring that back to a resonance of. To me, the nature of the divine is love in its purest form. Purest form, not the human kind of love that has conditions and expectations and love me if. Divine love is pure, detached, beauty, radiant, wholeness. So that's what we're striving for, is to come back into that wholeness, come back into that truth of who we are. And are you going to keep me the rest of the time? Thank you. What I would like to do, though, is shave off a few minutes early, because the group healing that I do is about an hour long. So